Hi, this is Isla Reddin and marelise talking with you again today. And this is actually episode 26. And today we've got a very serious topic. And for me, the good news is a lot of people, especially parents, are already talking about this movie. And the movie is Adolescence. It comes in 4 episodes and is on Netflix currently. Certainly in the United States and probably pretty much everywhere else in the world. As Mary-Elise told me earlier, it has become the most watched movie of all time. So
Mm.
it's an incredibly important movie for every parent, grandparent, anybody who works with adolescents to watch. And I watched it about a week and a half or so ago and encouraged Marelise, kind of forced her into it. But an incredibly important movie. So we're going to have a little bit of a kind of a conversation around that and just talk about what each of us came away with as being at least one really important piece that we wanted to share. So Marelise, why don't you start? And maybe at the same time you can use the story of your son and his experience to illustrate how you felt about or how you feel about what you watched.
Thank you, Isla. I think the importance of seeing this cannot be overestimated. I cannot tell you what your children are dealing with that you don't know about. I am fairly confident that most of what their day entails, you probably can't imagine right now. The world has changed dramatically, and I was absolutely flabbergasted to see how those children deal with each other and how they engage and how incredibly toxic just a public space can be for them. So what I shared with Isla, one thing that really stood out for me is the fact that even if we are super involved as parents, because I did get involved in activities around the school, etc., I don't think we have a clue of what they are dealing with on a daily basis. And to illustrate my point is my child was going through a rough time at a new school due to various reasons. And he was doing well academically and he was doing all he was supposed to do. But there were days that I fetched him from school that I could see it was just hell. He was the moment he got into that car, his whole demeanor changed. And I realized that there's a lot going on there. And we have a great relationship. I specifically did everything I could think of right from the start to ensure that we have the kind of relationship where you can tell me anything. And I was fairly confident that we had that because even when his friends couldn't tell their parents certain things, they still felt free to come and tell me to get advice, which made me feel pretty cool because I thought, oh, I'm the cool mom. The kids know they can talk to me.
The-
And yet, yeah, well, just the one who understands because it's such a priority for me. I really felt like I wanted to be the person that they can talk to under all circumstances. Because if nothing else, at least I'm in a space where I can give advice or help or support or, do whatever we think we need to do. And 2 years after my child left that school, one day we had a conversation and I could not believe my ears because a lot of what he had dealt with there actually came out for the first time. And I said to him, I cannot believe you dealt with all of this. Why didn't you tell me about it? He said, Mom, I didn't want to upset you. I knew you would be absolutely livid and you would be mortified. And I said, but I was there. I could have helped you. I could have supported you. He said, Mom, I really didn't want you to have to deal with that. And when you go and watch this movie, that's something that really stands out is the parents actually don't have a clue. Even when the children are in a household where they do feel loved and seen and respected, a lot of things are withheld because they struggle to deal with it. I mean, to then still go and talk about that at home, nobody wants to do that. It's just too daunting. So my encouragement to you is just please go and watch as much as you can and try and educate yourself as much as you can, because the realities that they are dealing with, I don't think any of us really understand. And this movie really gives you deep insight into what their days entail. And it's horrible. It's horrible. And it's done in a beautiful way, very, very honest, true, raw, enlightening way. So it's not to cast judgment or anything. But wow, it's an eye opener. I haven't seen anything like that on my TV screen before. So I really, oh, I want to encourage every parent out there, please go and watch this, because for the sake of your relationship with your child, to give you some insight into what they are really going through, I think this is vitally important. Yeah.
Yeah. I have I know some parents who have watched it now with their kids and with their teenagers. And I think that if you feel called to do that, it's such an opportunity to put both of you on the same page, put your kids and yourself in you put you in the ability to understand more of what their reality is, and then your child to be able to feel safe sharing with you some of the things that are going on for them. So with your story of your son, there's a lot that came out from middle school was a very, very challenging place for my son. And there's a lot that happened there that I didn't find out about until years later, that just broke my heart what he was
Absolutely.
dealing with. And I think that there's a lot that we can't fix as such. So I don't want to say that knowing these things fixes them, but I think what we can do for our kids and is vitally important is be with them, have them know that we know this is so incredibly hard for them, and that we really are going to be in, as much as possible, a completely non-judgmental space with regard to their behavior. We're going to work with them, but you have to be informed. You have to take, you as the parent, you have to take the step of figuring out what is going on. What is this whole thing called the manosphere? What does it look like? As I said to Marelise, I found a periodic table of emojis that the kids use to communicate with each other and what everything means. I had no idea. Many parents don't. How do we step in to really support our kids and say, we're here with you. We have no idea what's going on for you other than what you can tell us, but you can tell us as much as you feel safe telling us. We've created that environment of safety for them. I think that's really the biggest takeaway that I have from it.
Mm. Yes, and just being able to acknowledge that and make them feel supported in whatever it is that they're going through. Because my I've got a very expressive face. So, even when in my heart, I don't want to judge, I'm so shocked or whatever that it's on my face long before the thought is even passed down. So we need to be incredibly mindful of how we react and respond. Um, because if you see what they are dealing with every day, your best response might not even come across as the supporting, loving response that they need in that moment.
Mm.
So it really is important to be informed. Really go watch that thing. It's very painful at times. I cried so much because nobody wants that for their children. Nobody, and yet it's happening. So how can we help them through it? And we would love to hear from you your takeaways from that movie. We'd really love to hear from you because we'd like to talk about it. We need to discuss this. You know, questions that you have, things that stood out for you, anything that you need to understand better, please let us know. This is the most important conversation I think we all need to have.
Mhm.
So yes, please reach out and share with us.
Yeah. And as we find some resources for you, we'll put
Mm,
in the description underneath the video so that there are other
mm,
ways that maybe you can be thinking about this or you can be talking with your teenager about it. Whatever
mm,
resources we find, we'll put them there. So
yes.
anyway,
Yes.
it's a tragic movie, but it's the right thing for our time. We all need to wake up and
Mm,
realize that this is what's going on for our kids, and we need to circle the wagons. We need to help them.
yes.
We need to help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we need to stand together to do that because there are days when you just really don't know.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can be there for each other. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Isla.
Thank you, Marelise.